Now, water is one of those commodities that many of us take for granted. The ability to simply let it flow out of a tap is a way of life. But should we be more concerned about saving water? Well, I went to Staunton Country Park to find out how they are educating families on water conservation. A lot of the water we consume here in the Solent area comes through the chalk on the South Downs. And with more and more people wanting to live here, this supply needs to be conserved. Staunton Country Park near Havant, in partnership with Portsmouth Water, have installed a water conservation trail alongside their educational programme to highlight the importance of this precious liquid.
So for the water trail, there are 12 boards for you to go and find and have a look at, and then there are some information boards in this section here where you can wash your hands as well. So it's looking at how we can save water in our own lives, but then actually how that affects nature as well as around the world again. And then there are also some simple tips on things like, flushing the toilet and then actually turning your tap off when you're brushing your teeth and stuff like that as well, which is really quite useful. It's really important because it's not something that we could have forever. It's not something that we know. It's not an unlimited resource. So making sure that we're looking after that and looking after the environment that we're in will ensure that we can continue to have that filtration through the South Downs and the chalky soils and things, because that's actually really, really important and what makes our water such good quality as well. With all of our sessions we give a water message. So if we're doing about caring for animals, we will look at how it's best to give the animals their water, but the most efficient way of doing that, so we're not just leaving a tap running or a hose running into their water troughs and things like that as well. So there's always a way to get that message in there. Because we tend to find after doing our school session that actually the children will go home and they're really good ambassadors about water to their parents then, because they really start looking carefully at what their parents are doing as well as what they're doing themselves.
As well as a place to see cute animals, the park is keen to educate the community around it. And that idea is where this unique partnership was born.
So as part of the education team, we like to be involved in the community as well. And obviously Portsmouth Water Company are a big part of the community in the respect that they do all the water for everybody in this area. So it was a great link between us and them and helping to promote that positive message about water usage and how to be more efficient. They don't have an education team as such, whereas obviously we do here, and it was a great link to make between them and us, and then them sponsoring our education team as well.
Part of the school's programme is a filtration experiment. As well as being great fun, it also gives us an insight to how our water is made safe to drink.
What they do is they're given a very murky, muddy mixture, which they then have to work out the best way to filter that to get it as clean as possible. They're given a variety of resources, so there's some filter paper, there's some gravel, some sand, some carbon, and then they have to see what the best way is to get it as clear as possible. And then they realise that actually there's then a chemical treatment that has to be done, and that's where Portsmouth Water are really important, because they can come in and they do that bit for us in their big filtration tanks and things like that, which we wouldn't be able to do ourselves at home.
Ultimately, why should we care about preserving our water?
I think it's really important because actually more and more, especially over the summer months, we're having things like hosepipe bans and so on, and we need to be aware of the best way to use our water so that we don't run out, because we know and we've seen how bad it can be in other countries when they don't have water that they need, and there's no reason why we should be getting to that point, and we can actually help preserve the water that we've already got as well.
This is Richard Stringer for That's Solent.